So the two scenes that you just saw, there we go. Got to get my fake phone out. The two scenes that you just saw were filmed using the Manus Pod Z. And the first scene was filmed just in regular video. And the second scene was filmed in action mode. And this is how that was done. All I did was turn the video on and turn this upside down, and I can see this screen, and I just walked through just like this. Now, part of the deal is that you can see as you're walking, you can see you're bumping along, the Manus Pod is bumping, you feel like you're getting something really, really awful. But those clips are not too bad. If you don't have a Manus Pod, or if you don't have any other kind of gimbal or whatever, and you just want to hold your phone up and shoot, this clip that you're watching right here was shot without the action mode, and it's got that little bit of a bounce. And the other clip, this clip I'm going to put up here now, was shot with the action mode turned on, and it is a lot smoother. Now, if you watch a lot of YouTube videos like I do on how to make videos with the iPhone, you'll find out that the ninja walk is what they recommend. And the ninja walk is to put your knees loose and walk heel to toe like a ninja. I can't do that because I almost fall over. My balance is so bad. But I can depend on the action mode on the iPhone 15, and it does a really great job. Probably the trickier of the shots. Now this is being filmed not in action mode. I'm holding the Manus Pod Z out to my right, and because the action mode doesn't work on the selfie camera, it only works on the main camera. I can't see where I'm at here. So it takes a little practice to kind of figure out where to hold the Manus Pod so that, you know, you're not just getting this much of your head in the screen. So I would take a few practice shots. But I'm going to turn active mode on now, and we'll see what that looks like. And this is with active mode turned on. Now, I have to say, I've picked a really lousy spot to make this video because of all the traffic noise nearby. But I was trying to get into an area where it had a lot of things around me that would sort of emphasize the movement behind me or in the moving of the camera. And while I'm videoing this, I can feel that the Manus Pod is doing this. My arm is kind of floating with steps, bumping around, and I'm hoping that the active mode kind of solves for that. I guess we'll find out. And the last thing I wanted to try out with the active mode on the camera is what I was doing in the stores the other day, which was just holding my phone right here, very nonchalantly, pushing the button to play, and then walking. And that really gave that sort of bouncy, rolly look. And I want to see if the active mode can do away with that, because I don't want to walk through a store doing this. So I decided to try one more shot, and that was to use the Manus Pod fully closed, but just holding it out in front of me and walking like this. And that is remarkably better than holding it in your hand. So I strongly recommend that you get something to hold your phone. Doesn't have to be this, but something that will allow you for the active mode to be able to do its thing without your body totally messing it up. Today was kind of an experiment day. I had made this video on going to look for a coffee cup, and all the footage of me walking, sort of point of view through the stores. It all had that rolling, jumpy look to it. And, you know, that's okay for a clip or two, but a whole video of that really, really gets old. And, you know, there are a lot of YouTube channels out there. I've tried to watch a few that do like an hour and a half or a 2-hour walking tour of Rome or Assisi or Paris or wherever. And a lot of times they will have that look. I'm assuming, at least, maybe they have some kind of gimbal that they're using. But even with the, I don't have it with me, but even with the DJI Pocket 3, which is a really, really nice little handheld camera on a gimbal, it's going to get that bumpy look to it if you're not real careful. And so this is sort of what I found out. There are some times when active mode and not active mode really have very little difference to them. And then there are other times when it's a huge difference. Looking back, I don't know if you want to go back and watch the video again, but looking back, and that very first shot, let me just pull this out here, where I've sort of got the, I've got the Manus Pod sort of upside down and the phone down here. I don't know if there's a name for that. I've started calling it walking the dog. That worked pretty good even without active mode, but with the active mode on, I think that might have been the best result I had. I'm going to put a clip up at the end of this video where I did a sort of an extended walk. And just to sort of play out the video, I'll let you see what that looks like when I'm through blabbering on here in front of the camera. Holding the camera up like this to film, just handheld, the active mode really helped. Holding the camera at waist high and, you know, or stomach high really, to where you can sort of more stealthily walk around the store, active mode didn't help that at all, in my opinion. It was still just as bad. The interesting thing to me, one of the reasons that I have not videoed using the main camera when I'm doing a selfie shot and I've got I'm holding the Manus Pod out here in front of me, is because I can't see myself. And so I use the self-facing camera, which is not as good a quality, but it does help. But there's no active mode or active track, whatever it's called. You can't do that with that camera. So turning it around the other way, it was interesting to me that the screen got wider and there was more in the screen. I've never noticed that before. And I thought, I should always use the active mode when I'm filming that way, because it has more of a chance of getting enough of me in the in the frame, and I can always crop it just a little bit if I need to. So that was good to see. But you know, you can let me know what you thought about sort of each different clip if you want to. I hope that I can remember to turn it on when I need to, but yeah, it was a good experiment today. I learned a little bit more about the technical use of the equipment I'm using, and we'll go from there. No change in my weight loss at this point, and I'm gonna play this other video as an outro, and we'll see you tomorrow.